advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media used was found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings. There is a comical element to everything I say. Do not take it personally.
Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So I've just come across this article that is by The Express, which is a UK publication, and it is titled Meghan Markle Confession, Duchess Compared Real Life to Being a Civil Servant in Tiara. I've had a read of this article and I've also had a read of the comments, which have really made me laugh. And I do believe that this is true. I do believe that she said this. I do believe that she felt that she was too good to be in the royal family. She felt that she was far too important to have to be a civil servant. That really does come across with everything that her and Harry have done. It comes across because they literally didn't carry out any royal duties, and every time they did carry out royal duties, they spent a lot of time distracting from the fact that they didn't want to fulfill the royal role that they had been given, and they wanted to be celebrities in their own right. And we know that this pair haven't done enough to really be treated as celebrities. But the article starts out with Meghan Markle is believed by some to have been the driving force behind the Sussex's decision to leave the royal family, and an unearthed article claims she thought being a royal was akin to being a civil servant in a tiara. We know that this is true. We know that she pretty much didn't want to do any work. I mean, what did Meghan and Harry do during their senior royal life together without complaining about it, without jumping on a private plane, without trying to find some kind of excuse and drama to get out of it? They really think that they are far superior to everyone else. They were even caught at quite a few royal engagements laughing at the attendees there, laughing at various members there, cracking jokes, being very rude and disrespectful. The article then carries on to say Meghan and Prince Harry stunned royal fans when they announced, well, yeah, they were royal fans, but they wasn't royal fans of them, right? Stunned royal fans when they announced their decision to step down as senior royals in January. The move was considered to be unprecedented. Their decision saw a rift between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family deepen too, as Harry moved away from his old family life. While some claim it was a shock, other commentators believe their decision had been hinted at for many months. They also go on to say here, royal writer Ashley Pearson told Market Watch back in January why she believes Meghan was the catalyst in their decision to leave the firm. She said she had no idea how unglamorous it really is to be royal, and when she found out she would be a civil servant in a tiara, she was like, no way. The reality of it is Meghan hasn't really put in any blood, sweat and tears for, I would say, a lot of things in her life. She has had a father who's doted on her, paid for her full education. A lot of people, I'm not going to say most people, but a lot of people who do go off and do a degree or get a scholarship or whatever, go into higher education, do have to do some kind of summer job, do have to do some kind of grind in order to get from places A to B. It doesn't come across to me like Meghan Markle has really had to sweat at anything. It comes across to me like she has been very spoilt, very indulged, and I don't think that being a member of the royal family is some kind of slavery. Anyone would think that her and Harry were being sent out to knock doors, to hand out leaflets, to work tirelessly, to stand up for 11 hours on their feet. They wasn't being flown around or driven around in Range Rovers that the royal family are, you know, escorting around, or Rolls Royces. Anyone would think that they was really being put to work through blood, sweat and tears, and that's just simply not the case. This article has made me very annoyed because it just really reeks of her entitlement issues that she clearly suffers from, that she clearly has. Both of them have. And then the article goes on to talk about the way in which Meghan and Harry were really frustrated with the fact that they weren't permitted to talk about political issues seeing as being members of the royal family, they can't really have a position in political affairs that require an actual solution. So they got frustrated, and that was another key reason as to why they left. I don't think someone who really is that concerned with political issues runs all the way to LA, to be honest. I just find it really hard to believe. I think that is their guise. They have to make it look like they care about something in order to start this money grabbing foundation that they've both started. That's the reality of it. This foundation is the bank account of Meghan and Harry. It's going to be a funding source of Meghan and Harry. Meghan's new Prada bags, Meghan's new Prada shoes, Meghan's Chanel bags, Meghan's Chanel earrings, Meghan's Cartier bracelets, diamonds, and you name it. Whatever she wants, she's going to be spending that money from the Archwell Foundation on what she wants. Meghan's new house, and so on and so on. This is not about politics. Politics is a vehicle. But anyway, so they carry on to say that back in May that these courses are not apolitical. Explains another problem: the pair appear not to understand is their desire to be progressive, but seemingly without the controversy and criticism that comes from taking a stance on issues of public debate. At heart, it's unclear whether Harry and Meghan realise being progressive is not an apolitical act. Climate change is not apolitical. Even mental health is not apolitical. Now, we are aware that the Cambridges do talk about mental health issues, but they talk about mental health issues in the guise of assisting and supporting people's understanding of mental health issues. They don't talk about it in a political sense and, you know, really bash the government as to what they should be doing, what they should not be doing. That's permissible. But anyway, so it carries on here. These issues which the couple have voiced their opinion on come with real important and political questions attached. The reality of it is Meghan and Harry don't care about politics, and Meghan and Harry really do not care about charity. And Meghan and Harry clearly don't like to work. They spent most of last year on some kind of holiday. That's essentially what they was on. They was on a holiday. They took that 6 weeks off, and then they came back in January and announced that they didn't want to do this, and then they flew off back to Canada. She had that tragic photo shoot where she was walking through the woods with the baby doll Archie, and she hasn't done much. She hasn't done anything. What I really like to cover and look at is other people's reactions to these articles, and I found some quite funny comments on here which I couldn't have agreed more with. Someone's written here, for someone who is a keen advocate for women's rights, she sure does use men a lot. I'm not going to go into that. But, you know, I think a lot of people have that sentiment. Meghan has really leveled up in all of her relationships. Let's face it. Someone else has put, completely unprepared to be a royal. Not sure whether Harry didn't explain properly or if she just didn't listen. She obviously thought she could continue to do things exactly how she wanted to. And that just doesn't work in the royal family. Not even Diana could get away with that. And she was much higher up the ranks and more popular than Meghan ever was. And isn't that true? That is so true. In the royal family, you can't just do what you want. You can't just throw a hissy fit and say that you're not going to meet the likes of Donald Trump when it is part of your royal duties. All of this and above she was doing. Someone else has written, she wanted all the money, status and publicity that being a royal brings, but refused to do the job in a professional manner due to her own failures, and then refused to do the job at all, but still behaves as if she's entitled to all the perks. Dreadful woman, poor queen, poor Prince William. The monarchy would be gasping its last. I'm not sure about the last bit, but I agree with that sentiment. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. Another statement that someone made was, when the Queen ascended the throne, she made a speech declaring that she would serve her country as long as she lived. I believe this oath was repeated at the coronation. These speeches indicate the royal family do serve the nation by leading by example and providing us with a stable example. So the royal family could be called civil servants, but in an extraordinary way. Markle should have known this was part of the deal. She should have had this explained to her before she married. As she is not cut out for a royal role, it is well she left the country. Harry is to blame and will have to live with the consequences. This is really true. Harry has a lot to learn, and he really is going to, I believe, get it the hardest out of everyone. She's markled his family quite early on, but I think Harry is really, really going to bear the brunt of this. It may take 2 years, it may take 3 years, but this is a crash waiting to happen. Someone else put here, delusions of grandeur in a mediocre cable show actress. Comparing themselves to the Obamas, who have the intelligence, education and experience, ? Harry only has an A-level in geography to his name and still got pranked about Chunga Changa. Their arrogance is stunning. Anyway, there you have it, guys. I think this really is an example of her arrogance. His arrogance, but especially her arrogance. I can understand Harry going a little bit off the rails here. He was born to the future King of England. He really is royal blood, but her, it's not a good look for Megsy. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. I'll be back with another video. Bye.